Everything's ready on the main track. In fact, couple of stakes on this Saturday card at Belmont Park. Horses will be in that starting gate momentarily. 12 Triple Crown winners. History was made during the spring-summer meet at Belmont. We're in the process of writing a new chapter. Jason Blewett, Maggie Wolfendale. Very dark outside. How about the rainstorm we had at the tail end of this card?
I think, Jay, too, we kind of got a bit lucky, actually, and considering it only hit during the last two races and most of the East Coast being drowned, and we kind of managed to dodge it for most of the day, but it did get a bit wet here.
All right, a couple of headlines. It did. In fact, the turf, wait till you see what the grass looked like in the field coming down towards the wire in race number 10. We'll have that for you in a few moments. But regarding headlines, the trophies keep and accolades keep piling up for the Ramseys. They've got 4 eclipses to their credit, and they were named the National Owner and National Breeder of the Year. A couple more trophies going home to Nicholasville, Kentucky.
Yeah, that's right. Toba giving out the Thoroughbred Owners Breeders Association here, and the Ramseys winning this award for the second year in a row, as they should. I mean, just as far as numbers are concerned, they rack them up all over the country. Kitten's Joy, the prolific sire that they campaign, and yeah, they deserve it.
22 black-type winners worldwide for Kitten's Joy in 2014. The Ramseys won 153 races from nearly 630 starters, banked $10.5 million, 4 Eclipse Awards, and a few more trophies going home to their farm. And Kitten's Joy standing for $100,000. It might be over $100K in 2016.
Yeah, exactly. That stud fee just keeps climbing after all the success, and we saw one of his progeny win on the card today.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have a good-looking Ramsey homebred, in fact, by Kitten's Joy in the second race for you here on Insider. How about Bayern? He worked this morning 3 quarters out at Santa Anita, in fact, in 1:11.3, and they are still going forward with the defending Breeders' Cup Classic winner, even though his 2015 campaign has been completely forgettable.
Yeah, $4.4 million in the bank and winning 6 of 14 lifetime. Yeah, he's going to stand at Hillendale at the end of at the beginning of 2016, and his next race is the Awesome again on September 26th there at Santa Anita. Hey, he's kind of an all-or-nothing type. He's a horse who could be brilliant some days and very disappointing others.
And he'll be joining Curlin, Midnight Loot, a few other horses like Violence, and there's a few other sort of second and third tier stallions at Hillendale. So Bayern, he'll have his place to retire when it's all said and done, post potential Breeders' Cup Classic defense. And how about the Sands Point today? We'll get you right to the action. The turf listed is good. The rain started with about 10 minutes to post or so. Larry Comas will pick up the field from the gate. $500,000 purse, and let's go with Saturday's featured ninth.
They're off in the Sands Point. Cara Marie is sent out of there. Miss Temple City, Sentiero Italia, and Tapestry. Mrs. McDougall is there on the far outside, and then comes Osela as they race into that turn. Marabea is running in behind horses alongside of Blonde Me, and then it's Malabar and Iromea trails the field. Up front, it is Cara Marie and Manny Franco. Cara Marie making the pace onto the backstretch. Sentiero Italia will sit second as they straighten onto the backstretch in 24 and 3/5 seconds. Tapestry follows in third, 3.5 lengths off the lead. Then Miss Temple City, Mrs. McDougall, and Osela, who's now about 7 lengths behind. Malabar is next, and they're followed by Marabea to the inside of Blonde Me, and Iromea is trailing the field some 11 lengths off the lead. So they continue their run up the backstretch, and Cara Marie continues to lead the way. Went 49 flat for a half mile. And it is Sentiero Italia who's 2.5 lengths behind, running in second. Miss Temple City is third. Tapestry is fourth, 4 lengths off the lead as they race for the turn. Then Mrs. McDougall to the outside of Osela. Malabar is next. Blonde Me to the outside. Marabea and Iromea. Around the far turn, it is still Cara Marie. But Sentiero Italia is turning up the heat now. And she's a half length behind. And now she's edging up right alongside as they come toward the top of the stretch. Miss Temple City is there, and Tapestry on the outside, and they're into the stretch, and it's Sentiero Italia who's the one to catch. Miss Temple City closing in. Tapestry to the outside. Osela, Blonde Me late on the scene and charging into the final furlong. Sentiero Italia has opened up to lead by 3 as Blonde Me moves up on the inside of Miss Temple City and Tapestry. It is Sentiero Italia, a 5-win day for Joel Rosario. And And then it was Blonde Me, followed by Miss Temple City and Tapestry.
And that's right, Larry. A Saturday to remember at Belmont for jockey Joel Rosario, and he capped that 5-win day in style with the classy Sentiero Italia.
And we mentioned kind of prolific sires, and ones here in the state. Medaglia d'Oro has to be mentioned among those. The sire of Sentiero Italia here. She is 4 for 6 lifetime, Jay. She's a very, very nice filly for Kieran McLaughlin. She seems to be getting better, too. She seems to be taking her racing and, you know, improving off each and every effort.
No improvement needed today for Joel. Here he is with Maggie.
5 is the magic number here today for Joel Rosario, taking down all 3 stakes this weekend. Once again, the Sands Point in the winner's circle with Sentiero Italia. You rode her beautifully, Joel, just stalking the pace. She's a pretty nice filly.
Yes, thank you for that. Yeah, she is really nice. And, you know, I thought maybe, you know, Johnny was kind of, last time he was in front of me and, you know, in the first turn. And I ended up to be second behind just the 4 horse. He was the speed in the lead. And, you know, she just, after that, she just galloping along and she just, beautiful mover.
She really is. She's a beautiful filly as well. Talk a bit about your 5 wins today. Did you have the feeling that heading into this card that you were going to be that successful?
No. Well, it's, you know, and, you know, so glad it happened to me. And, you know, it's not easy to win 5. It's not easy to win 1. So 5. So, you know, just, you know, really happy. And then, you know, for Kieran too, he's, you know, he's being good to me. And, you know, I'm very happy he gave me a chance to ride her back again.
Joel, continued success and great job with Sentiero Italia.
Thank you very much.
All right, the man is pretty humble. I got to say, a good bit of modesty goes a long way with Joel. Certainly has one of the more likable personalities, I think, in all of New York racing.
Exactly. And him and even Ron Anderson, his agent, yep. I really like both of these guys just kind of hanging out. You know, they're very friendly, very personable, as you were saying. So nice to have them here.
And just an extension of Kieran McLaughlin and that whole farm with Art Magnuson. It really is a good group of people. I saw Jimmy Bell out here, of course, representing Sheikh Mohammed. And they've got a good one here. Homebred, My Medaglia d'Oro, and Sentiero Italia. Maybe the QE2 will be up next to Keelan against the 3-year-old fillies on the turf. No turf for us right now. Let's head to the main track. We'll pick up the 3rd race, the 1.5-mile Temperance Hill in progress up the backside. Here's Larry up in the booth.
Tacticus is the leader by a length. Slim Shady and Cornelio Velasquez continue to sit second onto the backstretch, while Javier Castellano has V.E. Day down on the inside and now just a length and a half off the lead and edging up just a bit closer. Endicott and Arad Ortiz Jr. at the back of the field and still about 4.5 lengths off the lead. 3/4 up in 1:17 and 4. And it is Tacticus with 6 furlongs to go on top by a length and a half. Slim Shady, V.E. Day, and Endicott are not far behind. Endicott is only now 2 lengths off of Tacticus. The base son of AP Indy, who's led almost all the way so far, and Tacticus heads into the far turn in front. The others are even closer now. Slim Shady is only a half length behind, and Endicott is 3rd. V.E. Day is 4th, but he's still in the race. He's only a length and a half off the lead. Around the far turn, still Tacticus. Slim Shady. Endicott's going up on the outside, and there's running room for V.E. Day, and Javier Castellano has him glued to the rail, but he's under a ride now to keep up with Tacticus as they come toward the top of the stretch here. Tacticus the leader. V.E. Day is down on the inside under a drive. And then it's Endicott. Slim Shady 4th. They're into the stretch. And Tacticus is the leader. Tacticus coming to the 8th pole. In front by almost 2 lengths now. On the outside is Endicott. And V.E. Day is down toward the rail. It is Tacticus by the 16th pole. And he's got 2.5 lengths on V.E. Day. And Tacticus will win the Temperance Hill. A 4-length win here over V.E. Day, and then came Endicott.
And Tacticus expertly rated on the front end in the 3-path or so beneath Joel Rosario, and a horse by a Belmont winner wins a race named for a Belmont winner.
Hey, there you go. He's such a beautiful animal, too, here, Jay, and it looks as though he could run 5 miles. I mean, I was down in the winner's circle with him. It wasn't even like he was blowing that hard or that exhausted when he came back, and a really nice perfectly done job by Graham Motion and his team, taking over training of Tacticus from Lady Cecil in England, and he's found a home and a niche here in the States.
What'd you talk to Graham about after the race? He was up. He must have been pretty happy with the effort this horse put forth
happy.
and defeated a Travers winner in VE Day.
Exactly, and Graham said obviously heading to what used to be the Breeders' Cup Marathon down at Keeneland, and just over the moon with this horse. He's really liked the way he's come along too.
All right, fair enough. Good stuff. The Arcos family, Flaxman, main sequence. The list goes on and on and on. Much like the 2-year-olds that began anew on this Saturday card at Belmont. They turfed, they hit Big Sandy, and we are back in a second.
The new Parks Fall Festival will double purses for each of its 32 live racing days. What an opportunity for Pennsylvania breds. In an open maiden special, PA breds will run for over $100,000. So be there at Parks in the fall.
Hello, I'm Brian Sanfratello. Last year, we paid $33 million to PA breds in the form of breeder awards, owner bonuses, and restricted race purses. Our Equine Coalition Group is united in the pursuit of making sure that we receive every dollar we deserve. And that's why our Racehorse Development Fund has been constant in the past 4 years. Please go to our website at www.pabred.com or give me a call at 610-444-1050.
We open the show with the empty gate. Well, here are the brave men and a few women that fill that starting gate, get in a tight space with a loaded stick of dynamite. Great job by Roy Williamson and his crew with the assistant starters at Naira.
Yeah, I think that was the backs of A-Rod and Justin and Orlando. So, yeah, these guys take care of these jocks and these horses day in and day out, going into the gate and in the gate and leaving. You're climbing in there with a 1,500-pound animal in a very, very small space. They do a great job.
And a fair start through and through.
Yep.
Most races, they really are great horsemen, those guys. And they're great guys as well.
Yeah.
Love talking to them when they're hanging out right outside the clubhouse at Saratoga. No Saturday at Belmont in the fall will be complete without a couple of baby races, so we'll have them for you right now, beginning with the second. Larry Colmus on the turf.
Steamboat Bill goes out to the front. On the inside, it's Crafty Colonel with some early speed, too. And taking well off the pace here is Acoustic, will sit last early on, as it will be Steamboat Bill to lead the way early. Camelot, Kitten, Tusk on the outside. Oscar nominated down toward the rail. And then it's Crafty Colonel, who's now second last. And Acoustic is going up on the outside and is starting to go by horses onto the backstretch. The opening quarter mile in 25 4/5 seconds for Steamboat Bill, who leads them by a length and a half. Tusk is in second, and now Acoustic and Joel Rosario have made the way up into third on the outside of Oscar nominated, who's down toward the hedge. After that, it's Camelot Kitten, who follows in fifth with 5 lengths to gain, and last of them all is Crafty Colonel. So they continue their run toward the far turn, and a half mile is up in 50 2/5 seconds for Steamboat Bill and Javier Castellano, who lead the charge by a length and a half. And then it's Tusk, Acoustic to the outside. Camelot Kitten's picking up stride outside of Oscar nominated. And then it's Crafty Colonel around the far turn. And Steamboat Bill continues to go along in front. And then it's Tusk and Acoustic on the outside. These three right across the track. And behind them, Oscar nominated Camelot Kitten, who swings up on the outside, and they're into the stretch. And it is Steamboat Bill. Steamboat Bill still in hand, coming to the final furlong, but the competition's coming. And Camelot Kitten is moving quickly on the outside with Tusk. And then it's Oscar nominated. It is Steamboat Bill. On the outside, Camelot Kitten. Camelot Kitten takes the lead. Camelot Kitten beats Steamboat Bill by a neck. And then it was Tusk
Red and white are the Ramseys. They began the show with a couple of new trophies, and they have got a homebred 2-year-old, a firster by Kitten's Joy in Camelot Kitten, who's pretty good.
Yeah, the only firster in this group here, Jay, as he is the full brother to the talented and Breeders' Cup winning Bobby's Kitten in here. And I was talking to Cherie DeVoe a couple days ago, and she goes, "Oh, look, that's Bobby's Kitten," as we were coming off the track. And she's like, he is exactly like his brother. And, well, actually, Bobby's Kitten didn't win his first race, so maybe he's even better.
That bodes well for Camelot Kitten. 100K for Kitten's Joy, a pop. We'll see if that goes up in 2016. Chad Brown, Irad Ortiz, top connections. Dark out here at Belmont. Good thing we have the lights as we get you back to race number 4. They broke at about 2:34. Larry Colmus was in the booth. He's mic'd up, and here we go.
They're off. Tricky Citizen is out for the lead. Toughest Hombre with early speed 2. Here comes Giant Run and Master Magician to join them. And then it's Deserved on the inside, followed by Wild Man, and Sail Ahoy is last of them all as they head up the backstretch, and it is Giant Run in front. Junior Alvarado and Giant Run on top, a length and a half. Master Magician second, Tricky Citizen on the outside. Deserved has the rail, and then it's Toughest Hombre and Wild Man, who's just 4 lengths behind at this stage and 3 lengths ahead of Sail Ahoy. The trailer, 23 flat, was the first quarter mile. They head to the half-mile pole with Giant Run the leader. On top, a length and a half. And then it's Deserved, Tricky Citizen, Master Magician, Toughest Hombre on the far outside, and Wild Man right behind them. The half is up in 46 and 3/5 seconds. And Sail Ahoy beginning to lengthen stride. Still last as they round the far turn. Giant Run on top by a length on the far turn to Tricky Citizen. Toughest Hombre is third to the outside. Sail Ahoy getting a wide trip, moving up outside of Wild Man on the turn, while Deserved saves every inch of ground down toward the rail, and they're into the stretch, and it's Giant Run off the turn in front. Wild Man to the outside gets going now. Toughest Hombre between those two, and it's Wild Man, Toughest Hombre, and fighting on is Giant Run on the inside. Sail Ahoy's coming too, and Deserved is trying to find a way through. These 5 are all gonna come down to the wire together. Any of them can win. Who's it going to be? Sail Ahoy and Deserved right on the wire together. Then Wild Man and Toughest.
Almost like the old school 5-wide Belmont balcony sweep for Sail Ahoy. That being said, this was about as good a race you'll ever see on the dirt.
As far as a finish is concerned here, Jay, I mean, as you hit the nail on the head, old school through and through with Shug McGahee and the Black and Cherry Silks of Phipps Stables winning, and a very nice pedigree on this guy, Bernardini, out of the Malacha Pass mare, who's thrown point of entry, so on and so forth. And this guy, Shug ran several 2-year-olds first time out that I was just anticipating their second starts, and Sail Ahoy was another one of them. And I got to give credit where credit's due, but 4th place finisher in here, that was Toughest Hombre. He really was tough. I mean, he took a lot of hitting from his stablemate and from the horse Wild Man, and still hung around pretty gamely, only beaten 3/4 of length for everything.
Could be a live race going forward. We shall see. But the day belonged, at least race number 4, to the Phipps, Shug, and Sail Ahoy with Joel Rosario. Race 6, 3 and up. Allowance. Todd Pletcher's got 2, and Larry's got the call.
Instructor Kunu and Flag on the Play take over, though, and it's going to be those two, and Instructor Kunu to the front. Flag on the Play second, Royal Saint is third, and behind them is Savoy Stomp, who settles back in, running in fourth, 4.5 lengths off the lead. Fortuitous Path and Long for the City in DeKalb County is last of them all, and well behind early on. The favorites a good 12 lengths off the lead as they move into the turn, going very wide there and hard to control too. The opening quarter mile is up in 22 and 2/5 seconds, and they're rounding the far turn. Instructor Kunu in front. Royal Saint is now second and on the move. Savoy Stomp follows in third. Flag on the Play, and Fortuitous Path is moving on the outside. Long for the City's in the race too, but DeKalb County's not. He's way out of it here as they come toward the top of the stretch. The half is in 45 and 3, and they're into the stretch, and here's Savoy Stomp up and after the lead. Savoy Stomp to the front. Royal Saint battles on, though. Royal Saint and Savoy Stomp, and down toward the inside, it's Instructor Kunu, and Long for the City's trying to get into the race late. Royal Saint on the inside, Savoy Stomp on the outside. These two coming down to the line together. Savoy Stomp, Royal Path. Savoy Stomp, Rosario again. Then Royal St. Long for the city and
Playoff of about 8 months for Savoy Stomp. Cost nearly $900,000 as a yearling and had to dig down deep as Medaglia d'Oro got his second win on today's card.
Exactly here, Jay. And Savoy Stomp obviously liking Belmont, also liking the turn back in distance here for Todd Pletcher, and a bit of a weird run from favorite also at the Pletcher Barn, DeKalb County. First time blinkers. You got to think maybe that played a role in the kind of erratic running that we saw from him, because he broke, and then as soon as other horses kind of went in front of him, he threw his head back and was just uninspired to run, despite Johnny's kind of futile chasing him along.
It's a tough game, 3-2 up the track with DeKalb County. The Pletcher Barn, in the meantime, springs the upset there with the gritty Savoy Stomp. Maybe it's futile. We'll try to match Joel. We've got our own little 5-pack coming your way. 1, 5, 7, 8, and 10 from the sun out to the driving rainstorm with Larry.
Francis Freud to the front. Here comes Fit to Keep on the outside with a rush. And Fit to Keep's under a full head of steam. Sunrise Lover has made progress on the far outside, but it's Fit to Keep and Angel Arroyo. And Fit to Keep's going to pull away to win here, and it's going to be Sunrise Lover to get second over Francis Freud. Richie by the Lynx was fourth. And here's Mr. Rosenthal coming up to them on the far outside. Media Kid McElroy's in behind a wall of horses. Great Attack is there on the outside. And Rapscallion is closing down the center of the course with big strides. Final furlong. Mr. Rosenthal, McElroy, Rapscallion on the far outside. Mr. Rosenthal in front close to home. McElroy on the inside coming. Mr. Rosenthal, McElroy, Mr. Rosenthal. Then McElroy, Rapscallion, and Media Kid. Beaches and they're into the stretch. Flower Kisser turning for home in front. Eloise is second. And Allies Envy is bearing down on the outside as Rescue Cat comes charging through on the inside. And Wild About Harry is closing too. Allies Envy, Wild About Harry, Rescue Cat on the inside. Wild About Harry takes the lead. BB late on the scene with a blitz on the far outside. Wild About Harry won it from BB. Then Allies Envy and Rescue Cat. Copernicus turn for home together. A 46.5 mile. It is Dark Roast on the inside. Copernicus trying to stick with him. Crescent Street is closing it now. On the outside comes Chasing the Blues in fourth. Down toward the inside, All Over Me. Boston Strong in the center of the course. They all have to come and get Dark Roast. Here's Chasing the Blues, and on the inside, All Over Me. Chasing the Blues getting to Dark Roast. Dark Roast holding on. Chasing the Blues, All Over Me, and Crescent Street. They come toward the top of the stretch in the driving rain here, and it is Banana Thief on the outside. Jim 2 down toward the inside. Trying to come on is Wicked Freud. In between horses there is Pegasus Red, and here on the outside comes Payment Terms, who's closing in the center of the course. Payment Terms on the outside of Banana Thief. These two, Payment Terms, Banana Thief down to the line. Payment Terms over Banana Thief, Pegasus Red, and Wicked Freud.
Although the last couple races chalked out, nobody was alive going into the last, Maggie, with the pick six. 40,000 our first carryover into Sunday's card, 12:55 the first post. We hope for better weather. Cappy's binocs, and you could barely see far. I know Larry Colmus was struggling. They had a couple of different views on the TV. A good job by the TV truck. And here comes Irad swimming home with Payment Terms. There goes Noah's Ark, I think, floating by everybody on the outside.
They were missing their horses as they were all running in the last race here on Noah's Ark. But yeah, Payment Terms dropping out of that New York Stallion Series stake, tried to stretch out, went back to sprinting here to the 7 furlongs, and it suited him down to a T.
We've only run 19 races. Let's look at the jockey standings. A few guys have already piled up victories. Joel, of course, topping the list. He won yesterday's featured Christy Cat, a 5-bagger on the Saturday card. But a few other riders have been in the zone lately. What do you think of 5-pound apprentice Eric Consell going forward off a good Saratoga?
You said it there, Jay. Considering his Saratoga winning 18 races up there, as you were saying to me while we were off camera, I read only winning 11 when he had his bug up in Saratoga. So the kid's off to a good start. And plus, he has a great agent on his side with Angel Cordero Jr. So the sky's the limit. He's riding for great trainers as well.
He is, and he's learning from his mistakes. He's very aggressive, even getting battle Red home on closing day, not playing games, getting to the lead, and let everybody adjust around you.
And a great work ethic as well. I mean, he rode a horse for my husband, Tom Worley, up at Saratoga. Next day at the barn, he was there asking how he was.
Oh, wow, I like that very much. And Tom Albatrani, a little on the streaky side, to be candid and fair about it, but Tom Albatrani, there you go, former assistant to Bill Mott, worked for Godolphin and Saeed bin Saror, and he picked up a couple wins yesterday, and we'll see him with a major player tomorrow in our featured Allied Forces.
And he was the kind of trainer like Shook, who ran some 2-year-olds up at Saratoga, who I thought had the capability of kind of winning next time out, because he's not a trainer that gets them geared up, but they ran well in those efforts, and I think he should have them ready to rock and roll here at Belmont.
And maybe Twilight Eclipse ready for another Joe Hirsch Turf Classic. He dances a lot of dances, just like a few of these hard-hitting claimers. Race number 5, in fact, the popular one, a 5-way shake on Rapscallion, David Jacobson to Chris Engelhardt, and we have got to go. We'll talk about Tom Albatrani. He's ready for Rye in the third break. Welcome back to Belmont Park. Charging down to the wire on this Saturday, day number 2 edition of Belmont Insider. It's Jason, it's Maggie. How about a little Sunday preview? $40,000, the Pick 6 carryover, and Ready for Rye renewing a rivalry with Cyclogenesis.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that much of a rivalry here, Jay.
All right, they're meeting for the second straight race. Better?
Okay, fine. Ready for Rye is pretty talented. Gelding here for Chalk Racing and Tom Albatrani. He's 2 for 2 now on the turf. It kind of doesn't even matter what distance he's going either on the turf, as he'll try the 6 tomorrow. He's just a very, very talented individual. He's won half of his career start. Cyclogenesis was coming in to that quick call off of that Ask It effort, and to me, he needed that race.
And here is Speightstown Time, who looked good first time out from Barclay Tag.
The meet Barclay had, especially with his first-time starts at Saratoga, was astonishing and remarkable, and a lot of hard work paid off. And Speightstown Time, he might be a talented colt moving forward. He's bred to be, very good at sprinting on the turf. So I like the fact that they're ambitious with him here, heading him into tomorrow's Allied Forces. We began basically with Kitten's Joy. We will end with Speightstown. We're in very good company on tonight's Belmont Insider with a couple wins by Medaglia d'Oro as well. $125 new member bonus sign up. Naira.com, the best ADW in the game. Your one-stop shopping for all things Belmont Park Fall Championship meet. You would think they win the Sands Point. You might have an umbrella out there, $500,000 race. But they look good. They are tough. And we'll see you tomorrow night right here on Belmont Insider.